In Moneyball, one of the scouts doesn't like one of the players because he has an ugly girlfriend. Says he has no confidence. If we use that same logic, there's no wonder that Derek Jeter is the greatest shortstop to ever play. Looking at Derek Jeter's dating roster is actually wild. This is why he was the captain of New York, maybe the Captain America.
I mean, he was making $20+ million playing for the Yankees. You're already in New York. We live in New York. You walk down a different block, you're going to see the hottest girl of your life constantly. Now imagine you're the sheriff of New York. Derek Jeter crushes.
We on root for greatness. They paper getters, they want money more than they want fame shit. I swear we go so hard, we on A-list. I see my niggas prevailing. We going hard for the hand. We gonna stack till we jaded.
This is a great interview. They doing their thing.
So Lil Wayne just dropped the Carter 6, Joshua, and I know we both listened to it, but if you haven't listened to it yet and you pay attention to social media, everybody's pissed about it. Everybody's saying his lighter fluid's gone. Lil Wayne just doesn't have it anymore. But actually, after listening to the project, yes, it wasn't the best. It was very random, but there's still a couple good songs on it.
Yeah, I think the internet kind of took like one or two bad songs and ran with it. The project is big. It's almost 20 songs, 19 songs. It's a long project. He's doing a lot of experimental things, which I think when people think about the Carters, they think of the Carter 3. That's what everyone thinks about. Of
course.
The most anticipated, one of the greatest albums of all time, and everyone compares it to this. I honestly wish Lil Wayne didn't do all the other Carters. I wish he just kept it at 3 and then just made a different project for all these, because to me, I'm like, people are expecting something different when they think of a Carter, and maybe that's why all this backlash has happened. But I personally, off the first 2 listens I've listened to it, it's not bad. Not a lot I'm going to like go back and listen to. I'm not going to go back and be like, this was a Lil Wayne classic. But in the moment today, I'm like, oh, this is a pretty good song.
I can see why people got frustrated and or unhappy with it, because the first 3 songs, you're like, what the fuck is going on here? And I was getting that throughout the project. Like, there would be a song you're like, okay, this seems like more up Lil Wayne's alley, and then he would come with some like rock random shit, and you're like, what is going on now?
I mean, I like the one with Big X the Plug. I mean, I think
hip hop. That was a good one.
I think that like Big X almost has like that same kind of flow, but it's like it works. It works.
Yeah,
on all of them.
but Big X the Plug is really good.
No,
like,
he's
probably one of the more
good.
underrated artists out right now.
That's why the song is called hip hop, because I think that he's getting more into country music. He doesn't want to be just boxed into that hip hop lane. But I agree with you. Big X the Plug is one of the most underrated artists on this project and really in
Wait,
rap
you're saying
right now.
Big X is getting into country, or Lil Wayne's getting into country?
No. Big X
Big
the
X
Plug.
that's what I thought.
He has a
Texas.
country song coming out, or a country album coming out. And I think that's why Drake has kind of paved that path of like, don't just do hip hop, do pop music, do house music, do these different things. And now you see like Beyonce, you see Post Malone going into country music. Big X the Plug has had a couple songs with Morgan Riley, or what's his name?
Morgan Wallen.
And I think that that's what's making him even bigger now, is he's just being like, I'm not just a hip hop artist.
I would also say, like, shout out to, who is this? Cameron Carter on Rari. That was a very, very interesting
That's like
sound.
his daughter.
I have no idea who that is.
I'm pretty sure that's his daughter.
Well, shout out
or
to his
son.
daughter.
I think it's his daughter.
Well, shout out to his daughter. I love the sound on that project. I would say, I think the reason why people are pissed, and I'm not like sitting here like this is a great Lil Wayne project. I literally probably won't listen to it more than a couple times. But where I think people are pissed about was there was so much experimentation on it, whereas like the Carter 1 through 6, or this was 6, right? So all the Carters beforehand were all just like buttoned up, great projects, classics. Like Drake is not dropping Drake the Third and experimenting on it. Drake is going to put classics on his project. And I would also just say, I just feel like Lil Wayne's just like a little out of it, to be honest.
Cameron Carter's Lil Wayne's 15-year-old son. I knew it was like his son or daughter.
Interesting.
And I kind of respect that. Like, he's putting on his son. Speaking of the back half of the album, though, the best song on it for me was Alone in the Studio with My Gun with MGK and Kodak Black. That was my favorite song off the album. And it wasn't close, personally. Like, that's like one of the few songs I was like, I will re-listen to this song.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's probably the best song. Or Flex Up. It was also one of my favorites.
We said Big X the Plug is underrated. MGK is underrated. And I know we kind of talked about this offline, but we were saying that MGK kind of gets put into a lot of different categories because it's like he is the tough guy, but then he's kind of like fruity in some sorts, and then it's like he's the pop star, and then he's the rapper, then he's beefing with Eminem, and then it's like it's all these different
He's on
things.
so many different things. Like the
Yeah.
problem is like he should have never came at Eminem. Like there's literally no reason to ever do that. Like it's like beefing with Lil Wayne. Like why are you beefing with Lil Wayne? Like
Yeah,
they're
but
fucking
sometimes
out of
you
the game.
do that, but like sometimes when someone takes a jab at you and it's like MGK was punching up, you know what I mean? Like Eminem's punching down.
But
so
that's
it's like exactly. So you want to always punch up.
Of course, but my thing is like when you do that, people are gonna make stereotypes about you. Be like, you just want the PR. You're just trying to get relevant. Like,
Isn't that
you just
everything?
keep, of course, but like, just keep fucking making good music, and people will find you. Like MGK, from a freestyle perspective, is probably one of the better artists out. But the problem is he doesn't get that respect when you do the dumb shit like tattooing your whole body all black. You know, like you don't need to do that. Just keep normal tattoos.
In retrospect, I'm not a fan of that, but it is pretty original in that sense of like 2025, no one's really doing that. They might have done that at some point in human history, or some like random tribe has done that before. But in 2025, as a white man, that was pretty original for MGK to do that.
I do want to stay relatively in the Young Money circle here. Joshua, did you see Drake is now officially a billionaire?
Yes, the Dave's Hot Chicken.
Yes. So Dave's Hot Chicken sold for $1 billion, but it goes further. So if you go to Google right now and see Drake's $250 million net worth, one, that couldn't be more wrong. And where the Google net worth comes from is Google's only pulling up public records that are tied to your exact name. So if you have an LLC, if you are a minority owner in a business, a minority investor, Google has no idea where it is. That's why Google net worth can be hundreds of millions or billions of dollars off in certain
For
scenarios.
Sure. Yeah, no doubt.
But the story of Dave's Hot Chicken goes is Drake won the Artist of the Decade award, and at his private party after the fact, Dave's Hot Chicken was being catered. He tried it and was like, this is incredible. Who are these people? How do I get like invested? He met the owners, and the owners were 4 friends that pooled together $900 to start a pop-up in East Hollywood to literally serve Nashville-style hot chicken. It looked like it was like an abandoned building with a tent and some picnic tables that they just set up, and apparently there's just no rules in California, so they just went at and did it. Blew up on social media. Then came the brick and mortar store, and then they opened up 40 locations in 2 years. And Drake was like, I'm sold, I'm all in, and became the biggest minority investor. Now that it just sold for $1 billion, after Drake signed a $400 million deal with Universal, his last tour netted $328 million in revenue. I know he doesn't take all of that home, but just with those numbers there, and he has $200 million in real estate tied to his name, Drake 100% has to be a billionaire, or about $2 short.
There was a lot of speculation that Drake made upwards of $300 million in this deal, which I don't know if that's true because it sold for $1 billion, and I don't know how that would shake out. There was rumor that Drake owned like 10% of the company. Again, that seems like a lot in a sense.
It is a lot.
But he did get them pretty early, so it's not that crazy or out of the question that he could have done that. But if he owned 10% of the company, that means he got on $100 million, roughly.
But the key thing here is Rourke Capital was the company that bought them. They own Dunkin' Donuts, Subway, Cinnabon, like all these other places. They don't want to change a thing. So all the key investors, all the key leadership are going to stay the same. So what I think is going to happen is, one, Drake won't be forced out. So yes, Drake may have made $100 million, $200 million on paper, but he hasn't sold it yet. So as they continue to funnel that commercial money into it, they expand locations, that money's only going to grow.
Is the company public that bought them?
Rourke Capital is a private equity firm, so there's no, like, you can't buy their stock. They invest in publicly traded or non-public companies.
I was just curious because I figured, like, if they did just give him stock, it's like in the sense of it just grows, because that's what all the rich dudes do. They just want the stock because they don't get the capital gains tax on it, and they just borrow against their stock.
100% that's what Drake's doing. Even if it's not public, you're still, even on paper, that's what all the rich people do. Like when Jeff Bezos wants to buy a fucking yacht, he's not like, oh, I have this $60 million. He's like, no, the bank is going to give me $60 million to buy this boat, and they're going to take my stocks as collateral, and I'm just going to pay it back over time through fucking whatever and not have to pay any interest and or get liquid. That's the biggest thing about rich people that no one understands. Rich people are rich because they don't have a ton of cash just hoarding away. It's everything's invested, and then they're getting all their money via banks through loans because they have the assets to back up the loan. That's why poor people can't get loans. They don't have any fucking assets. Where they can take your shitty car? Like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, no one wants your shitty car.
Exactly.
Keeping on the music trend, Diddy, one of the biggest musicians of our time, is obviously being investigated for a lot of different things, but there's a funny story of Diddy. So allegedly, Diddy pays Sting $2,000 a day for sampling Every Breath You Take without his permission. Sting is notorious for dinging people on copyright. If you do the math on that, $2,000 a day, that's $730,000 a year. I'll Be Missing You, the song he sampled from Sting, was released in 1997, bringing the grand total to just under $20 million he's paid Sting. What's funny is this whole story, Elton John, another huge figure in the world, was the one who told Sting. Sting had no idea this was even out. Elton John told him and was like, hey, I just made you a couple $1 million. Go check out this song. Checks it out, obviously sues Diddy. But like I said earlier, Sting is notorious for copywriting people on his lyrics. The late, great Juice WRLD's biggest hit, Lucid Dreams, was a song sampled by Sting, Shape of My Heart. Now, even though Juice WRLD had no idea that was even Sting's song, his producer made it, chopped it up without his knowledge of it. Because the producer used it, Sting now owns 85% of Lucid Dreams that sold more than 10 million units. The song is absolute bananas. It was on the radio for 3 years straight.
That's actually how I discovered Juice WRLD, was that song.
Exactly. And so he pays 85% of that song. Sting owns of it. Sting had a funny quote. He said, I'll Be Missing You put his kids through college, but he said Juice WRLD is going to put his grandkids through college. So just kind of a funny story there in the sense of, one, Sting, absolute legend for just getting paid off his lyrics in a million different ways. But two, to make Diddy pay you $20 million for a song is absolutely crazy.
Diddy could use those $20 million right about now, I would think.
100%.
Yeah, he could use that $20 million. But I would also like to add, if you took anything out of that story, is kids, you want to hit in royalty land. Once you hit in royalty land, it's game over.
Yeah, Sting has officially mastered the royalty play because, I mean, holy fuck, dude. To make that much money, I mean, I can't even imagine how much money that Juice WRLD song made, too. I mean, that thing was getting pushed everywhere in 2018.
Juice is signed to a label, right? Like, he was signed to a label.
He was signed to a label.
So that's why that song was they were pushing that.
They were pushing it, and then a year later, they were like, oh, all that money you made? Yeah, we're going to need 85% of that money.
Juice isn't seeing any of that.
No,
money.
he saw zero of it.
No, even before the 85%, he wasn't seeing anything.
Well, they probably advanced him a ton from that. Like, that was like, that song came out, and then he dropped his album. So, like, that was all like a very coordinated push to get him out there. And it was a massive album.
So they advanced him a loan that you have to pay back is what they gave him.
I'm sure it got paid back.
Yeah, of course. Juice sells better than anybody. He's top 8. Probably all time selling wise.
Yeah.
Theoretically, in like the streaming day and age. You know what? Back to the Lil Wayne thing. It bothers me when people still say that Lil Wayne is better than Drake. And I completely disagree. I think without Lil Wayne, there's no Drake. But can we finally admit that Drake is by far better than Lil Wayne right now?
Yes. I don't think anyone's arguing.
Oh my, there's plenty of people to argue. We're going to clip this up, Joshua. There will be people reporting our account on TikTok.
Anyone who thinks that Wayne is better than Drake isn't paying attention. Now, is Drake as big as he is because of Wayne? Of course.
Yeah, I literally said that. Without Lil Wayne, there's no Drake. But to say they're even playing the same game is wild.
I disagree with that statement as well because I think it was perfect timing for Drake and Wayne to be together, but Jay-Z wanted Drake too. To not say that Drake wouldn't have been the same thing or even bigger under Jay-Z, I think is crazy too.
What are you saying? Drake wanted him to sign to Rock Nation, or are you saying that you think Jay-Z wanted Drake a part of Rock Nation, or Jay-Z wanted Drake a part of Tidal?
No, this was like way before Tidal. This is way before Tidal. Jay-Z wanted Drake for his record label.
I had no idea.
Wayne wanted him for his label. There's other people that wanted him for their labels too. It was just a difference of Drake picking Wayne.
Jay Prince set him up with Wayne though.
Exactly.
So he took Jay Prince's advice.
Yeah, exactly.
Smart.
So,
worked out.
To round out the show, I found a funny post on Instagram, and I thought I would share it. In Moneyball, one of the scouts doesn't like one of the players because he has an ugly girlfriend. says he has no confidence, right?
Yep.
If we use that same logic, there's no wonder that Derek Jeter is the greatest shortstop to ever play. Looking at Derek Jeter's dating roster is actually wild. This is why he was the captain of New York, maybe the Captain America.
I mean, he was making $20+ million playing for the Yankees. You're already in New York. We live in New York, Joshua. Like, you walk down a different block, you're going to see the hottest girl of your life constantly. Now imagine you're the sheriff of New York and everybody's Yankees fans here is like, the one thing I've actually loved that I didn't think I would love about New York was actually the fandom towards the Yankees. And like the Knicks, like I'm kind of a Knicks fan now. I'll never be a Yankees fan because I think they buy their teams and they don't care about their farm system. They don't draft. Like they're just like, we'll give this person $50 million. We'll give this person $35 million. And it's actually the reason why they can't win a World Series, because when you're just paying a bunch of big superstars, guess what? They really don't give a fuck if they win or not because the check cashes anyways. They're not competitors where you have like the Astros were homegrown. The Rangers were homegrown. Tigers are about to fucking win a World Series before the Yankees. They're all homegrown. So that's my one thing about the Yankees. Shout out to the Yankees fans. But yeah, Derek Jeter crushes.
So back to the roster of Derek Jeter. So it starts here. Minka Kelly. I don't know if you've ever seen her before, but
Yeah, she's an actor, right?
actor.
Yep.
Then he has Jessica Alba.
Yeah, classic.
Classic.
Yep.
Mariah Carey in the... He had
Respect.
Mariah Carey in the
Peak.
prime.
Peak, yep.
Mariah Carey. He also had
Respect.
peak Jessica Alba too. I mean, Jessica Alba has aged very well, but like he had her peak.
Respect.
He also had Scarlett Johansson peak. Peak Scarlett Johansson. He had a peak Tyra Banks.
Listen, Derek Jeter had a checklist.
No, dude,
He had a checklist. He had a little notebook.
He hit every flavor on the board.
He
here.
had a checklist.
So then he had I didn't really know this. She looked familiar, but I wouldn't have known her by her name. But Adriana Lima.
Never seen her. Never seen her. Yeah, classic.
Definitely would have been up your alley, Bob.
Yeah, for sure.
Then we got Hannah Davis, which
Classic blonde white girl.
just a classic car. Classic ball. Just a classic ball. Jessica Biel, another classic.
Yep.
Just another classic. On brand. But like all these people were like peak at their time. Like
Yep.
they like were, when they hit the pinnacle of their acting career, he was like, I'm going to try that one now.
But it was also good publicity for them. Like, you're fucking dating Derek Jeter. He's putting you on.
And then this is a Bob favorite, Vanessa Minilo. I don't know how you say her last name.
Why would that be a fan favorite?
I just feel like that'd be like one of your favorites of
That
Derek
wasn't
Jeter.
my favorite of the pictures I saw or names I heard.
Oh, who's your favorite? Off
my
that?
favorite? I don't know. All of them.
He really kind of went 9 for 9 there.
Yeah, he really did. But that obviously makes Derek even more of a legend. That's probably why baseball is dying. We don't have a player just pulling a bunch of supermodels.
Not only did Derek Jeter have 5 World Series championships, the guy had a lot of championships off the field.
No doubt.
Incredible.
No doubt. But if you made it this far, drop a like, leave a comment, hit subscribe. Until next Tuesday, we'll see you. Peace.
I got a fight for my bros, I gotta stack out this gold. I tell you I'm on the road. About to get all this dough. Me and no fuck niggas know. I swear to God we the ghosts. This ain't the story they told. Man, if you know, then you know. I never had to tell my dogs that we on rough for greatness. They paper getters, they want money more than they want fake shit. I swear we go so hard, we on A-list. I see my niggas prevailing. We going hard for the hand. We gonna stack till we jaded. I just told my niggas that we on a mission. Yeah. It's gonna be hard to get it.